Ah, vous êtes là. Hello, bonsoir. So, good evening. This is Phil, as usual. I hope everyone is doing great. J'espère que tout le monde va bien. Cette semaine, j'ai essayé de me rappeler d'activer mon micro, donc le son devrait être meilleur, on espère. So, I hope everyone is doing great this week. J'espère que vraiment tout le monde a eu une bonne semaine et que tout le monde va bien. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait cette semaine? Eh bien, cette semaine, on va s'amuser un petit peu. Let's have fun this week. Euh, je voulais pas nécessairement parler d'un sujet en particulier, un peu comme la semaine dernière. I didn't necessarily want to talk about a specific subject. Like last week, last week was like my vintage toy lines that I grew up with. Donc cette semaine, je voulais un peu faire le même principe sans nécessairement avoir un sujet très clair et très précis à traiter. Je voulais surtout... je veux commencer quelque chose de nouveau que je pourrais peut-être faire une fois de temps en temps pendant le Vintage Kids. Ça serait un espèce de open mic night. Donc, la chose que j'aimerais peut-être commencer à faire, c'est une soirée où est-ce qu'on va parler un peu de n'importe quoi, puis on va laisser aussi les viewers, vous autres, euh, un peu partir la conversation. Dans le fond, c'est comme une soirée juste pour jaser. So what I was saying in French is I wanted to start something that we might do a few times. I don't know, once a month or whatever, or once 2 months, or whenever you guys also want feel like it, is to do like an open mic night. What I want to do with this is more like a night that we don't necessarily talk about one subject, but we will talk about whatever comes up. So I have a few things in mind that I want to talk about tonight, but I want to give you guys the opportunity to speak up and just like say, all right, I have a question, I've got an idea, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, and we'll see where it goes. So the subjects that I know I want to talk about are not necessarily Star Wars. There are more of what's in the what's going on for the last few weeks. They are a great movie that came out, and there's also last night was a huge finale of Better Call Saul, and that's two subjects that I want to talk about tonight. But since it's an open mic, I want to give you the chance to you guys to ask any questions, talk about any subjects. If you want to bring something up, go ahead, let me know. And if you don't feel like it, that's okay too. I'm going to talk for the next hour. Even if we're 10, we're 100, or even if I'm alone, I'm going to talk for an hour. Donc, on va essayer ça, même si, comme je disais, il y a personne, il y a 2 personnes, il y a 8 personnes, il y a 100 personnes. Si vous êtes trop gêné pour amener des sujets, gênez-vous pas, c'est pas grave, ça me dérange pas. Moi, je suis ici pour la prochaine heure et je vais parler de n'importe quoi. J'ai assez d'imagination pour pouvoir remplir cette heure-là sans trop de problèmes. So, uh, at the end of this, let me know if that's a good idea. No need to story behind. Yeah, I know. That's a sexy boy right there. Um, Hey, Jim. How are you, man? Good to see you, Kirk, by the way. I'm sending you my love for everything that you do as usual. I missed all the mini games today. It's always the same thing. You put up in mini games, and then I just miss it. Oh, that's okay. It's part of I like you say a lot of times. Life happens, So I have no idea, as usual, how many people will show up this week. Um, Sometimes we're 70. At the end of every episode, I always go check on how many people came and watched for a couple of minutes or stayed all night. And usual, we're about 70 people that comes in and leaves and stays or whatever. And I totally understand because uh, the subjects that we talk about are not necessarily the stuff that everyone enjoyed. So, as this is a not necessarily 100% Star Wars Z podcast, we talk about tons of other things. Keep losing the. Wait a minute. Oh, you keep losing the feed. Yeah, I really don't understand why this happened because uh, just before I started, I even did some tests. So, and it's probably why there's only one viewer. I really don't know how come the stream is not going very well tonight. Uh, well, I'll do this anyway. I'm trying to find a way to do this podcast by another application than only using Facebook because it looks like there's issues with I don't know why, but with Facebook when you're streaming using only this, and I mean I'm not using any elaborate stuff. It's just regular webcam and the microphone, but sometimes the feed just doesn't work. My girlfriend is unable to watch this podcast in the same house because there's so many lag, and I really don't know how come this happens because, like I said, I did a test just before I started, and the information, well, the speed of the internet connection is a-okay. So I have no idea what's going on. But when I do my live sales, the feed does what? uh, when I do my live sales, I use StreamYards, and with StreamYard, it usually works pretty good, and I can use two cameras and stuff. But the big issue, Monsieur François, comment ça va? The big problem with StreamYard is when I look at the comments, I don't see people's name. I only see like Facebook user. Anyway, so I started to watch some videos on YouTube to see what's the best way for me to use an application and to make sure that the feed is good, camera's working well, the microphone. I'm still new at this. We're only at episode 15, but I'm gonna try to be better every week. Donc, ce que j'expliquais, c'est que je comprends pas. Tu vois, j'ai des amis aux États-Unis, même ma blonde qui est dans la même maison que moi, qui est sur la même connexion Internet, qui me dit hey, ça lag, ça lag, ça lag. Puis je comprends pas pourquoi. Fait que switch to my phone from tablets and it's better. See, I have no idea why this. It's probably because it happened a long time ago in the galaxy far, far away. So, ce que je disais tantôt en anglais, je comprends, tu sonnes quand même comme Edgar Fruitier. Bon, ben c'est bien. C'est très bien. Sébastien Kelly. Non, mais. Euh, fait que ce que j'expliquais tantôt pour ceux qui étaient peut-être pas arrivés ou que la connexion était tellement poche que ça fonctionnait pas. Euh, donc, on fait une soirée open mic et je peux très bien comprendre que à chaque semaine, les gens qui viennent, qui se connectent, qui partent, qui, tu sais, je veux dire, la vie arrive à tout le monde, là, tu sais, c'est pas tout le monde qui est disponible, tout ça. Puis moi, comme vous savez, je suis pas à la recherche de chiffres, là, ça me dérange pas. Sauf que je me suis quand même amusé à regarder, puis habituellement, pendant un Vintage Kids, pendant un des épisodes, il y a environ 70 personnes qui viennent, 70 adresses IP qui se connectent, puis qui viennent écouter un petit bout, puis qui partent, puis tout ça. Pardon. Puis ce que je disais en anglais, I'm translating in French what I just said a bit earlier, so hang on. Je peux comprendre aussi que le Vintage Kids, c'est pas nécessairement 100% juste du Star Wars. Là, ça le dit. Je comprends, j'ai utilisé les logos et tout ça là, pour que ça soit familier, mais ça reste que les sujets que je veux traiter de semaine en semaine, c'est pas seulement Star Wars. comme, tu sais, justement, les toylines, tout ça, on en parle à toutes les semaines. Mais aussi, tout ce qui peut toucher l'actualité dans le geek world, tu sais. Fait que je comprends qu'il y a du monde qui vont se connecter, qui vont écouter un petit bout, qui vont dire de quoi qu'ils parlent aujourd'hui. Ah, ça m'intéresse pas, moi, telle affaire. Ben, c'est correct, puis je respecte ça à 200 000 à l'heure. Mais la raison pourquoi je veux faire le open mic, donc c'est un peu pour ça. C'est pour que ceux qui sont là, live, des fois on est 10 en même temps, des fois on est plus, des fois on est moins. Ben, je vous donne la possibilité de lancer des sujets ou poser des questions, puis on va partir sur votre sujet que vous lancez, puis on va s'en aller là-dessus. Fait qu'on, là, tu vois, Sébastien veut parler d'Edgar Fruitier. Donc, Edgar Fruitier s'en va en cours pour. Non, parce qu'il a joué à touche pipi, ça a l'air. Mais bon, ça, c'est une autre histoire. So, this is the reason why I wanted to introduce this new kind of, well, not subject, but kind of way to do the vintage kids. It's a few times a month or a few times a year. We're going to do an open mic episode like today. So, see, Jim, I really don't understand why it works better on your tablet than it works on your phone. I don't know why my girlfriend's unable to watch it in the house, but hey, I'm going to learn. I'm learning every week. I'm doing my best, and I'm having fun. For me, I love to learn stuff, and that's a great example. Is de me familiariser avec la technologie, to know always a bit more every week on technology, on the tools that we have. This is why I purchased some items that I try out. I've got some lighting stuff that I purchased also a while ago for the live streams, not a live stream, but live sales. So that's it. Donc, the subjects that I had in mind, I think it's a Facebook. Yeah, I think it's a Facebook problem also because I really don't understand. There's like no reason that I can point out. And one thing that I do in my life is I always try to find some answers, and sometimes I don't sleep at night because I want to know those answers. And the best way to make sure that you have great streaming is to make sure that your connection is top notch. Donc c'est la meilleure manière d'assurer que ton feed est bon, c'est que ton signal passe bien. J'ai refait un test 5 minutes avant de commencer, puis c'est comme numéro 1. Tu sais. Là, je viens de voir que Seb m'a écrit un message. Là. On va-tu le voir? Ben oui, gars, c'est moi ça qui se frotte la face. Là. Tu vu? C'est-tu pas beau? Fait que de semaine en semaine, froze on iPhone again. See, I don't understand, man. This is like, meh. And I don't want to start a new feed because that's the link that I share to everyone. So anyway, so probably when I'll be using a different way to come in Facebook, like I said, like using StreamYard or something, it might get better. But see, that's a good. It's funny. We've been talking for 13 minutes and we've been talking about this feed problem, and that's perfect, man. This is what I want to do. I don't want to shove you some stuff in your head like, let's talk about this. That's a brand new whatever. No, the reason why I'm doing this is to interact with you guys. I don't know. I think it's Greg Marshall that wrote me something last week, or perhaps it was you, Jim. I don't remember. Someone wrote me something after last week's episode and told me like, I missed the live stream. I missed the vintage kids, but I've watched it on YouTube. So perfect. That's great because when I upload stuff on YouTube, when I save this live thing, when I watch it back, there's no lag. So usually when I upload it on YouTube, you can watch it and there's like, it's supposed to be great. So there's no supposed to be any lag. But I don't remember, like I said, if it was Jim or Greg. But he told me that it was fun to watch it on YouTube, but there was something missing, and that was the interaction. And I totally understand. And that's the fun of this thing, is to be able to see you guys or get together for an hour every week and just chat, just have fun, and talk about the stuff that we enjoy. So in life, because life is short, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring you. It might be $1 million, but there's more chance that you'll get some bad news than you win the $1 million. So this is really why I enjoy doing this. And it's like on any other groups or any other not site, but yeah, Facebook groups that you end up having, well, meeting new people, and they're all around the world. They're like in the U.S. and Canada and any all in all provinces and stuff. So that's the fun of it. That's something that 25 years ago it was not even, we were not even thinking about this. So anyway, all right. So enough about this lag problem. Um, yeah. So the two subjects that I want to talk about, and like I said, if you have any suggestions, go ahead and we'll go there. See, I keep on receiving frequency is too low. Faute de quoi l'espectateur pourrait avoir un stream de qualité inférieure. See, they're asking me to put my camera in a lower rate, so that might be a problem. I don't know if I can do it like while I'm streaming this thing. Uh, okay, but I have no clue where I can like switch the rates on my camera. Anyway, so let's do this. Like, let's say that everything is going great. Anyway, okay. So the first subject that I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it like very superficiellement, superficial element. I want to talk about this movie that came out a while ago, well, a few weeks ago, and it's Prey. Not like Prey, but Prey like getting your head chopped off Prey. It's the new Predator movie that came out, and they only released it on Hulu. And since the last movie that came out about this Predator series was like a disaster, I've watched it, but I mean, when you when it's like watching the X Files at season 8 or season 9. I don't remember how many seasons there were, but when you're watching a movie or you're watching a TV series and you're saying like, yeah, okay, they call it the I forgot the name, but it happened with in Happy Days when jump over the sharks, when the fawns would jump over some sharks or whatever. Uh, that's like the time where you know that the series or the movies is like, okay, if you've reached your point where from now on it's going to be crap. So personally, when they did Predator versus Alien, I thought that was like the end. So I gave up on them. Not necessarily on aliens, but I, you have to keep in mind that in the second Predator, there's the skull of Jump the Shark. Exactly, man. That's exactly the right term. Um, in the second Predator, there's a skull of a an alien in the ship, so you know that they opened the door for it. But for me, it was like, oh man, they're they jumped the shark. But the last movie that came out, not Prey, the one just before, I don't remember the name, Predator 11 or whatever, uh, with this giant new species of predator that is like 3 times as big as a regular hunter. For me, it was like, yeah, okay, okay, okay. I went through it and I said, all right. But now that one came out, Prey, and I've watched the previews, and my eyes already right away I saw something different. Uh, the cinématographie, okay, la cinématographie, les images, the images were amazing. The shots were great, and to be honest, if you are a movie lover and you love great shots, great characters that they take the time to develop, they work to make sure that the character is well explained in a short time, because you have to keep in mind that this is a 2 hour movie or 1 hour 40 minutes movie, I don't remember. They are really doing a great job. And the cool thing is, I was watching this, and after 5 minutes, their shots were amazing. And I said to myself, okay, even if from now on the rest of the movie sucks, it was worth my time just to see these amazing shots from 17 whatever with the Indians and the they don't like being called Indians. They are natives. Okay, I forgot the English term. Uh, donc the natives, they did an amazing job to show us like the way they live. And I'm not saying that they're totally accurate. That's not the point. It's more the fact that they are really well not represented, but they you believe in it. You believe that you're in 17 something. Um, and you can see that every shot there's someone that took the time to make sure that it was as best as they could do with what they got. And I'm not saying the movie's perfect, and I'm gonna do my best to not spoil anything. But if you did not see it, take the time to go watch it, just for the images, for the fact that they are really taking the time to introduce the characters, and they're doing a great job. Um, and what I really enjoyed also was the fact that after 28 minutes into this movie, you did not see the villain. You like you see it in the shadow, but they really take the time to introduce the character. So for me, great job. It really felt more like the first movie with Arnold, without like the big muscles and stuff. More like a we can believe what is happening on screen. So that's why I really enjoyed it. Uh, the girl that the actress, I don't know her name. Sorry. Uh, I was really surprised by her acting skills. Once again, you really believed. She probably worked a lot. She probably took a lot of time to do her research on how to create this character and embody this girl that lives in 17 whatever. And so yeah, so for me that was a great thing. So that was my Prey review, very quick on this. It's really worth your time. um I watch it. I love this. Yeah, exactly. My only complaint was seeing rush at the end. Yes, you're right, and I agree with you, man. I think that even if they would have done like a two-part movie, it would have been interesting. Like you said, okay, I'm gonna say two things that I really not enjoyed in that movie, and I'm sorry if I've already talked about it in another episode. But first up, the animals, the bear, and I don't remember the rabbit or whatever. There's some CG that I really didn't like. Several shots, not much, but you could totally say that it was fake. But once again, that's from my movie guy that's been working in this thing and watched too many movies in my life. And the other thing is that I think they did a terrible job. They did a really terrible job with the French people uh, that comes up and do their bad things. The reason why I'm saying this is not like the actors are bad, but they're supposed to be French. And as a French guy, I mean, my first language is French. Uh, there's some phrases that I could not even understand, and they're supposed to be French. And it's like, what the hell is he saying? Like, it felt like he was saying, I'm gonna translate it. I don't know, like forest, rock, believe, water. What the hell is he saying? The words that they were using in French in the sentence did not make any sense. And it's it not only happened once, it happened a few times. And you can totally see that they're English people, American people or whatever, that doesn't speak French, and they learn to say these phrases, and it really it sucks for this part. And I was surprised because most of the time when they're using French people or French language in an English movie, American movie or whatever, a lot of time there's a Quebecer, there's someone from Quebec that speak French. This is our first language, and there's at least two actors that I saw that it's c'est évident, it's an evidence for me, for everyone that this guy is from Quebec because we have this huge accent that we only find it around here in Quebec. And I said to myself, I mean, these guys from Quebec that speak French every day, they heard the same thing that I heard a few seconds ago, like the guy saying, patate, fraise, Roger, bouteille. What the hell? So I'm surprised that these actors did not like raise his hand and say, by the way, this guy, I don't know what he's saying, and he's supposed to speak French. So I was surprised about that. So those are the two things that bothered me a little. Um, yeah. So that's it for Prey. Um, the other subject that I want to talk about, and like I said earlier, it's not necessarily something that everyone enjoy or even watched, but I want to talk about Better Call Saul. So either my numbers will go down or people will show up. I don't know. I don't care. I want to talk about Better Call Saul. So the reason why I want to talk about Better Call Saul is that I've watched Breaking Bad a few years ago. I did not watch Breaking Bad when it came out. I watched it afterwards, and everyone was telling me, you have to watch this, you have to watch this. And I've watched it, and I fell off my seat. I mean, I'm in love with Breaking Bad. I was in love, once again, with the cinematography, what they did with the characters. They did an amazing job. I don't know. I'm going to do my best to not spoil Better Call Saul, but I'll take for granted that people that are watching saw Breaking Bad a few years ago. Um, so when I've watched Breaking Bad, I was really impressed with the characters, with Mike. I was impressed with Fring. I was impressed with Walter. I was impressed with many of them because they were really well cast. And they had like 6 seasons to make sure that they really felt uh, well anchored into their characters. And I just realized that I've been talking in English for the complete show, and I'm sorry about that. Désolé pour les gens français, je suis parti là. Hein? Ben oui, ça arrive. It happens. Vous mettrez les sous-titres. Peut-être qu'il pourrait mettre des sous-titres ici, tu sais, en française. So, uh, and one of my favorite character, and it's funny, it's like in Star Wars. I mean, often when you fall in love with a character, it's often the character that is not there very long, for very long in the season or in the episode, and you say, "Oh my God, this guy is great," and of course, it was Saul's character. When I first saw Saul, it really made me think about a Cohen's brother character that they really. I mean, the Coen brothers. If you're not, if you don't know the Coen brothers, you have to uh, go check all their movies. There, I don't think there's more like there than three movies that they did that is not worth it. And one of my favorite movie of all time is Big Lebowski. And the Coen brothers are amazing. They're amazing because they have Roger. Is it? No, it's not Corman's. It's Roger Deakins. Sorry, uh, the guy behind the cameras for most of Coen Brothers movies is Roger Deakins. He won so many prizes. I think he won even some Oscars for the work that he's able to do with the camera. He's like he's a god with that camera. And the reason why I was talking about the Coen Brothers is that in every movie that they do, they really take like a subject, but they take more time to create their characters than to make sure that even the movie makes sense. A kind of way. If you watch, if someone asks you, can you tell me the story about Big Lebowski? Well, it's really hard to say because the movie goes like everywhere, and it's not that it doesn't make sense, but it's like a few days in these guys' life journey. It could happen to anyone. Anyway, so in every Coen Brothers movie, they really take the time to make sure that the character you remember the characters, and it really felt like Saul Goodman was coming out of these guys' head. He's like over the top. He's like a une caricature, hein, on va dire en français. Une caricature, caricature. Um, yeah, uh, exactly. So that's a great way to say it, Tom. You're totally right, man. And well, that's just like your opinion, man. Le Duc. Yeah, they call it. Oh yeah, I've got to say it. Par ce qui passe son temps. OK, so François, tu viens de mettre comme le chose dedans. C'est ça, ça tient pas la route, ce film-là. Anyway, so yeah, in French, by the way, I don't know if I already told you guys, these guys, but the Big Lebowski, the dude, in French, they call him Le Duc. Le Duc. What the fuck is that, man? Call him the king or le dude. Ça se dit en français. You can say it in French. Not le duc. Alors le duc. Oh, ouais. Oh, come on, man. But anyway, that's once again, that's my opinion. So let's go back to Better Call Saul. Uh, you can take this guy and put it in the Big Lebowski, and it fits. You can put him in any movie from the Coen brothers, and it fits. It literally he's perfect for these movies. So I fell in love with this guy, and I remember one of my friend Alain Richer, that maybe he's watching. He fell in love with this guy. Also, it's like, man, that Saul Goodman guy, he's amazing, and you want to know, you want to learn more of this guy. And after that, they were done with Breaking Bad. we've learned that they were doing Better Call Saul, a series only on this guy. And I said to myself, oh, yes, this is going to be amazing. And I've learned afterwards that they decided to do this not at the end of Breaking Bad. They decided to do it, I think, while they were doing Breaking Bad. Anyway, I'm not sure at 100%. So, anyway, so when I've learned that they were doing something with Better Call Saul, and when I've learned it was the prequel of Breaking Bad, I said to myself, oh man, we're in for an amazing ride. And I remember I've started watching the first season with my girlfriend, and it was totally not Breaking Bad at the beginning. I mean, you've been introduced to Jimmy McGill, la la la, that's okay. Who's Better Call Saul before he became Better Call Saul. I guess that's not his real name. Spoiler alert. But and you learn about his brother, and you can see like he's struggling and stuff. But the big difference in Better Call Saul is the pace of what you're watching. We were used like to this amazing pace, kind of a speed. Every week something would happen, something would like you would watch Breaking Bad at the and at the end of break an episode you would lost like 100 calories, at least 1,000 calories, just because like you're on the edge of your seat. But in the first seasons of Better Call Saul, the pace is so different that I remember my girlfriend would say to me, man, this is way too slow. Like, what the hell's going on? It's like they're only like talking, and they're sitting, and they're talking, and they're sitting. It feels like watching episode one. So a lot of people walking and talking and sitting and talking and walking and sitting, and like, where's the shark? Don't jump the shark, but where's the shark? When is a car gonna blow up, or is there something? Someone's gonna get killed, or what's going on? So at every end of each episode, it was like, okay, that was good, but they've talked for a long time, and but they took the time to introduce the characters, and that's the magic of it. And what I really enjoyed with through all the six seasons is that every season you would gain some speed, you would gain some pace. Uh, yes, exactly. A lot of background and development, exactement, with the characters. And when you're watching a movie, when it's like a 2 hour movie, you have to, in a few minutes, you have to hook your viewers by introducing to the characters, and you have to make sure that these people can relate and they can see themselves in these characters, or else you're going to lose them. But in the series that comes out every week, and you have like, I don't know, 10 at least 10 episodes per season, you can take the time to make sure that there's an interest for each character. So the development is slower, but I'm gonna make like a probably a very bad reference, but it felt more like reading a book. I don't read books as much as I should, but when you read a book, like let's say, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, the books are that thick, and to introduce you to a character, they're gonna use like one chapter. I don't know how many pages, but they're gonna tell you every way that they can, so you can understand the character. You can see the character in your head. You can even feel him around you. And that's what they did with Better Call Saul. With each characters, all the new ones, like Kim, like Howard, they really took the time. Even with Saul's brother, with Jimmy brother. I mean, they did an amazing job. Uh, so with the new characters, they are certain that you like fall in love with them. You care for them. And the great thing about the fact that that was a prequel, they brought back so many characters from Breaking Bad that they were able to give them more. Uh, I'm gonna do another bad comparison, but it's like a cake. I mean, you have a cake. Yeah, Mike. Mike, for me, Mike is my favorite character in Better Call Saul. It was probably my second best character in Breaking Bad. I This actor is amazing. By the way, this guy plays in Gremlins. He's a cop in Gremlins. Go check it out. That's crazy. He probably played in many other movies. I did not take the time to check the EMDB thing, but anyway. So they really took the time to give you more information on Fring. They gave you more, yeah, humanity, more levels. Exactly like a cake. You have a cake, and that cake in Breaking Bad was amazing. Like, great taste, great look, whatever. And they were able for 6 more seasons to put more icing on that cake. All the colors of the rainbow. So you get like, you already have a great character, but now you're able to give it even more humanity, like you're saying, Jim. Sadly, that's what I think was the lack of in what Disney did with episode 7, 8, and 9. They would have been able to give more humanity, more icing on that cake, on Luke, on they. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about this, but you see what you understand what I mean. So they really took the time to make sure that every episode you would stop watching, it would end the episode, and you was like, okay, so what went on that episode? And afterwards, you realize that you're learning slowly but surely. And don't call me Shirley. Um, about Kim, about more about Mike, a lot more about Mike. You learn about his son, you learn about his granddaughter and stuff. So now it's funny because I was saying to one of my friends this summer before season 6 started. I said, "Do you realize that after that we have will well Better Call Saul will be over, you have to watch Breaking Bad again, because with all the knowledge that now we know about every character, not only Saul, not only Mike, but every other ones, you cannot see this amazing series the same way that we did the first time. It's like watching episode 4 after you've watched episode 1, 2, 3. You don't see Vader the same way. So Vader was already a great character, but now you have this character that you know is under the suit. So you care even more about this character. So I just can't wait to watch Breaking Bad again, because I think every episode will feel and we will see it with a different eye. So I think it's going to be amazing, and I don't know. So okay, so like I was saying, in every season you would gain some pace on every season of Better Call Saul, and it was amazing like I said, I'm not gonna spoil. I'm gonna do my best to not spoil like the finale of yesterday. But one thing that I really, really, really was surprised with is the fact that Saul Goodman, even if he's like Slippin' Jimmy, the character that he created by himself was in fact brought to a new degree, to a better level of perfection. He's not perfect, but it was like Kim was like the star in Mario, Mario Bros. In the first one. You know when Mario jumps around and he gets the star. So it was amazing to see that Kim helped him so much that even sometimes the stuff that Kim gave for advice or suggest to do or whatever in different situation, you even see like Jimmy ask him himself, "Am I going too far? Is that okay?" It's like that's not me. That's wow. Okay, I'm not sure that I would do that. But after that, he thinks about it and says, "Oh my God, she's right. Let's do this." So that's another way to see him differently in Breaking Bad. Will be able to keep in mind that the way that he is in Breaking Bad, it's not only for his love of money or the gain he wants to make on cash, but there's like a plus that is inside that character that comes from Kim. So for me, that's amazing. That's amazing. This is great storytelling. So this is probably what surprised me the most in Better Call Saul in all these seasons. And of course, I mean, there's a arc. Every character gets a arc. You start somewhere, you go all around, and this character évolue. Hein? Ben oui, il évolue le caractère, le personnage. And and I think that Kim is probably the biggest surprise because Mike is still Mike. You just learn more about him. Fring is still Fring. You just learn more about Fring until the last scene with Fring. Even it's like, okay, that's a great scene. The scene where I'm not gonna spoil anything, but when he goes and gets this to the bar and he talks with the guy with the wine stuff. This scene is amazing because it tells us so much more on this character, and it opens up a window to what this guy, like what he really is in his life, not the facade that he creates. Because we can even, I mean, Fring is also like a double, triple character. He's the guy from Los Polos Hermanos, and he's the guy, the bad guy. And now they open up like a door or a window saying, yeah, but in all this, he plays these two characters, just like Saul, or Jimmy plays Saul, and in Gene for the black and white stuff in Better Call Saul. There are all characters, but within these characters, there's always like the real person inside. And it was amazing to see this person inside. Perhaps we saw him in Breaking Bad when Ding Ding shoots his friend when by the pool in Breaking Bad. When he freaks out and he sees his friend dies, that's probably as close as we saw Fring as a real character, like his real nature, and the reason why he hates so much Ding ding. Um, yeah. So it was amazing to see every returning characters in Better Call Saul, but it was even more fun to introduce new characters that you could put in and bonafide Breaking Bad. And like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was amazing to see old characters interact with new ones. And once again, it changed the dynamic. Uh, like I said, I'm doing my best to not spoil anything, but eventually we might do an episode. Well, I'll spoil it because since it was yesterday, I don't want to spoil anything. But I'm just gonna say one thing. The scene from last week, not yesterday, but the week before. Uh, the scene that they did with Kim and Jesse. Do you realize the magnitude magnitude of this scene? What it represents? Some people will say, "Yeah, okay." No, they did it for a reason, and we would have found out we're actually watching what in his wife's book. I don't remember this, man. That's the reason I have to watch it again. I don't remember the book that you're talking about. Um, and the reason there's also I'm not going to spoil it. Eventually, we'll talk about it again. But there's something yesterday that happened with Chuck, and it made me ask. I did not find the reason of certain things yet, the meaning, and I love these shows. I love these movies because after watching them, I spend hours in my head trying to understand. Oh yeah, that happened. That happened. That happened. Walter White was trying to write a book. I don't remember this, man. That's crazy. I don't remember. That's crazy. Who talks like that? It's like, wow. Who's the guy? I don't remember. Anyway, one day I'm gonna have to make some impressions. I love to do impressions. And anyway, that's another story. Uh, so back to what I was saying. There's a scene in last week's episode, not this week, prior to the finale. The scene, very short scene with Kim and Jesse. So you have the new character with the old character, and people would say, okay, they did this just okay. I understand now, the old character, new character, but there's a reason, and the reason is perhaps I'm wrong, but let me hear me out. That's the right way to say it. Do you realize that these two characters are in the same situation? What I mean is, Jesse is in this situation because of Walter's action. So I'm going to use the word victim, but it's not a victim, but kind of. Their lives change. Jesse's life changed because of Walter and not for the best, as we all know. And if you've watched El Camino, by the way, you have to watch El Camino, the rest of the story of Jesse. You have to watch it. It was amazing. Anyway, so Jesse's life was totally changed and ruined by Walter. And you have to understand that Kim's life has been changed and ruined by Jimmy. So it's amazing to see these two characters share a cigarette for a few minutes, and they are the same. They are the same character. They've got the same arc. They've went through the same thing, but with a different person. So that's deep. I think that it was on purpose. They did not put them together for just okay. Let's put them together and people will be happy. Like fan service, it was not fan service. It was there's a reason because they are both identical kind of characters. So that's what drives me, and that's what I love about these shows and these movies. Another great series that I really enjoyed was Lost. I know people hated the end, and like, oh, whatever. But I don't care about the end necessarily. What I love about Lost is the interaction with the people, with every character. They take the time to make them lovable, and you fall in love with them and you worry about them. And when of the character dies, you're sad. I mean, you're really sad. It's like, oh my god, we've lost this amazing girl or guy or whatever. And it's like you're not going to see them anymore. And we're not in Marvel or Star Wars where you can heal people up and they'll be back next week. Um, so anyway, so yeah, so that Better Call Saul. I heard some people say that they even enjoyed more Better Call Saul than they enjoyed Breaking Bad. I don't think I would. I'm ready to say this. I have to watch Breaking Bad again. But what I want to say before there, I've been already talking for an hour. This goes fast, man. Um, I was talking about the paste, and every season we would gain some paste, but also as every season would go on, we would get more and more Breaking Bad shots, a la Breaking Bad. Like, oh, okay, they're using like the bug, they're using like the desert, they're using scenery, they're using fast forward clouds or whatever. Shots in the desert when Mike is with Saul in the desert. There's so many shots that reminds us of Breaking Bad. That's just an example. And so that was also kind of a great journey for the people that already saw Breaking Bad and were watching Better Call Saul, because you knew that at every episode we were getting closer and closer and closer to Breaking Bad. But not only in the timeline, we were able to see it in the images, in the way that the camera moves, in the way that the camera would shot every scene. Um, I know that the fact that we would see, like, after Breaking Bad, all the Gene stuff were in black and white. I also understand. I'm gonna have to find out the reason why they did it in black and white, since it was in the future. I totally understand that they wanted to make sure that the people understood that this is the present, this is the past, and this is the future. But I don't think it was necessarily a great artistic choice, but I would probably listen to what I'm just saying right now in a week or so, and I'm going to say, "Oh no, I understand now why they did it." But they were playing with the colors. They were always like when you were in black and white. You had just like in Schindler's List. If you watch Schindler's List, there's it's a black and white movie, but there's the little girl running around with a red dress, and she represents something. And also, when they would light up the candles, the fire would be in color. So those are the two parts in colors that you get. Well, it happens three times, but whatever. In Schindler's List, but it's kind of the same thing that they've used the colors when Gene was watching his Better Call Saul commercial. They were in color. And it happens in last week episode. You would see the reflection on Gene's glasses, just like you see the reflection on my glasses right now. Everything is in black and white, but it's in color, so it represents something. And when I think about it, it's like if the Gene section of Jimmy's life is the dark side for him. And the best years that he got was when he was better, when he was Saul Goodman. So that's probably the reason why they've used. See, I've just thought about it right now. It's like, it makes sense. But once again, I might be wrong. Anyway, so we've been live for an hour. I'm gonna have to watch to understand why this freezing keeps on happening with Facebook. I know it's not my internet connection, so I thought it was my computer. I rebooted my computer and stuff, so I'm gonna have to try. Perhaps it's my camera, because as I can see, it keeps on telling me veuillez configurer le sur 15 à 60. Perhaps my rate, my quality of my webcam is too high and it doesn't help. I'm gonna try this. So so that was it. That was episode 15. It was an open mic night, but I've talked for the total hour. But keep in mind that this is an idea, so I'm gonna bring this back eventually with the open mic night, and I want to give you guys the chance to talk, to bring the subjects, every whatever we're gonna follow, whatever you guys want to talk about. So so that's it. So I hope everyone's will have a great week. For our friends from the MMC, see you tomorrow. Thank you guys for keep on following me with my craziness stuff. Eventually, we'll talk about toys again. Don't worry, we'll talk about more Star Wars stuff. I have no idea what I'm gonna talk about next week, but I'm gonna try to do my best to think about it and bring a great subject for next week. And if you have suggestions, go ahead. You can write me. You can write it down after this podcast. I hope iPhone is that makes, if that makes any difference. Yeah, so that, I think that's it. I'm streaming in 1080 in 1080, so perhaps that might be the problem. I'm gonna have to lower my rate, my quality, perhaps to 720p. So yeah, that might be the problem. But I'm surprised. I mean, we're on Facebook. I'm using like ultra speed internet, so I pay for this very high speed internet. So I don't know. Anyway, so have a great week. Be safe, be good, be wild, be you. Enjoy life. Have fun. Do what you want. Do what you love. Do what you like. Tell your friends that you love them. Tell your wife, your girlfriend that you love them, for every emotion that these people around you brings you joy, laughter, and stuff. Yeah, see you tomorrow, man. So yeah, it's not it's thank you, Jim. It's fun. It's fun for me to do this. I love it. I love it. This is great. And there's probably in the future, in the very near future, I'm gonna learn more about my health, and what the next years are going to be. And I'm probably gonna do more and more and more of these. So we'll see. All right. So take care, guys. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, everyone that came. And you guys on YouTube, thank you very much. Also, you can share this. Join us on Yoda's workshop. It's a private group, but we all help each other and sell stuff and trade stuff, and that's why we are alive. It's to have fun. So take care, be safe, be good, be well, be you. Have a great week. Bonne semaine à tous. On se revoit bientôt. Take care.